What's up, Walking Dead heads? Thanks for joining us on The Broken Dead today. We are talking The Walking Dead for season 11, episode 9. This is part 2 premiere, and we've got some news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you. This is The Broken Dead. All right, folks, I am Dylan.
I'm Quin.
And thanks for joining us today. Whether you're new to the show or returning, we're glad to have you guys along for the ride. And we hope that you will join us live, typically every Sunday night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, we will be covering The Walking Dead on Sunday nights at 10, most likely. So please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so that you know when we drop new videos, when we go live. And don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. So I found out today that apparently my website was broken, so I had to go fix it. So if you've been trying to log on, it's fixed now. I didn't know that it was broken, but
oh dang.
Yeah. Also, so yeah, we didn't go live on Sunday night because I was feeling under the weather, just like all of a sudden kind of felt bad, like may or may not had something to do with the giant buffet that I ate hours earlier, but did not feel good.
What is this?
Looking in the internet is the giant mirror of the world.
I need it to stop. Yes.
Yep. So
we'll be back the Sunday after, hopefully.
Yeah, we will not be airing this coming Sunday. I will be in South Arkansas for my grandmother's memorial. God rest her soul. She was an amazing woman, and we're going to get together with family and celebrate her life. So that's going to be great. Excited for that. Yeah, trying to roll out of that there. We will probably air, we're probably going to live stream on that Monday. So next Monday, this coming Monday, for episode 10. And maybe even for episode 11, because it's weird right now because they're still doing this thing. Let me just hit special notes right now. I guess this is kind of special notes. Just, stay safe during the pandemic and all that jazz. We're streaming video chatting here not because of the pandemic, but because of ice storms in Northwest Arkansas here. So yeah, it's not safe for Quin to come over and play. So anyway, yeah, I hadn't really talked to Quin about this, but it seems like, all right, so this has been an ongoing thing for season 11, because if you subscribe to AMC Plus, you get the Walking Dead episodes a week earlier than they air on AMC. And so it seems like pretty much everybody is watching it on AMC Plus. I mean, maybe it's about half and half. I don't know the exact numbers. However, I do know that people on the internet and YouTube have basically thrown that out the window and are releasing their reviews of episode 10 already that has not aired until this coming Sunday. So rather than be just behind everything and nobody watching not that anybody watches our show anyway, but to increase the chance of anybody watching the show, I think we might just go right ahead and do 10 and 11 Monday, because rather than just I don't want to give us a reason to be behind the ball already. So yeah, we'll probably just go ahead and start doing a week early, and then oh wow. What was that? But I'll talk to Quin about it, and then just keep an eye out for our next post of when we air, when we live stream, and we might even announce it tomorrow night when we do our FOMO show live stream. So Quin's like, tomorrow's Thursday. Yes, today is Wednesday, my dude. So just it's really weird with the way AMC is airing their episodes with staggered like that, and it's really difficult for people on the internet to talk about the show. And it's like AMC is doing a lot of weird stuff where they're kind of shooting their fan base in the foot, where people, because you would think that more discussion is good for the fan base, shows like this, stuff like this. In fact, at the very beginning of The Walking Dead, there was this huge podcast that had people from the show on it all the time, and it actually helped the show become the juggernaut that it was. I say was because, yeah. But anyways, you guys get the gist. We'll announce that soon. So, as far as, do you have any thoughts on that, Quin?
I do not. I do not. My throat. I don't know what just happened.
Voice is doing a thing. Probably.
No, I don't. No thoughts on that.
Yeah, 'cause 2 days ago it was springtime.
Yeah, 2 days ago it was spring. Yeah, you're right. 2 days ago it was spring. My arthritis acted.
Yeah. So we are in part 2 of the epic last season of The Walking Dead, and this is the season premiere. They're breaking it up into 3 different parts of 24 episodes total, so 8 episodes long. This is episode 1 of season, or part 2. I keep wanting to say season, because the way they're doing it, it's almost like, and with the break in between, it's almost like this is a whole different season. It's really odd, but you have to make weird choices during the pandemic and how you do things.
Yeah.
Because we were going to get at least a season 12, but because of the pandemic, they decided to end it this season, season 11. Still calling it season 11, even though they might be breaking everything up into little things. Anyways, yes, we have not seen episode 10 yet. Quin, have you seen it yet? No, okay. Yeah. I know you said earlier you hadn't. What's that?
First time my house has been quiet today.
Yeah, so we have not seen episode 10, so we will not spoil episode 10. We are only talking about episode 9. So if you jump in the chat, please don't spoil it for anybody else that is only tracking with the airing of it on the AMC channel on cable and not online.
Yeah,
so,
I said yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yep. So don't be a troll. All right. So there are a literal like a whole mess of spinoffs. Just talking about like the greater TWDU news, Walking Dead universe news here. I'm trying to do this really fast because it kind of slows things down, but I feel like it's necessary. It might even like end up moving this to the end of the show or something, because it really messes up the pacing, I think. But anywho, just thinking out loud, as far as the Rick Grimes movies, who knows at this point what's going to happen with that. Rick Grimes was seen in Atlanta, so he may be showing up. I think I saved that picture. Yeah, there it is. So Andrew Lincoln was in Atlanta earlier this week, so he may be filming for some of the season 11 episodes on the tail end, or they're starting to gear up in preparation for the Rick Grimes movies. So at this point, it's like Rick Grimes is almost irrelevant. So it's like it's been so long with. I mean, and it's not really their fault because the pandemic kind of stretched it out even further. But anyways, however you feel about Rick leaving the show and stuff, that's yeah. Daryl and Carol still getting a spinoff as far as I know. Walking Dead Origins is still going to be a spinoff. Tales of the Walking Dead, however, we have gotten some big updates on that. Those are supposed to be, from what I understand, it's kind of this what do they call it, where they do just like one-off episodes, and it's like a little anthology series, kind of like how Star Wars did, like Star Wars episodes,
Star Wars Visions.
Yeah, Visions, yeah, where they just did little one-off episodes where it's in the Star Wars universe, but they're kind of unrelated, and so that's kind of what Tales of the Walking Dead is. They did announce some big casting updates. We've got and some of these I recognize their face, but I don't recognize where they're from. But we've got some pretty big names. We've got Anthony Edwards, of course, Terry Crews. Of course, everybody knows who Terry Crews is. Parker Posey is another big name. Poppy Lou. And Jillian Bell is another big name that I recognize. And from there, we've also got... I might have a little heart attack over this one. Olivia Munn, who... Yeah, Olivia Munn. We've got Danny Ramirez, who sounds and looks familiar. Loan Chabanal. We've got Jesse T. Usher, who looks so familiar. I cannot place him. Man, he looks familiar. I think he might have been part of the Arrowverse or something. And Mbeth Davids, who looks really familiar as well. Forgive me for not looking them up and what they've been in. But it's been quite a crazy week with the my current job. This season we're like right in the beginning of our this is our spring season, and the beginning of it is hot and heavy right now. So I've been working crazy hours. That's why we didn't do a welcome back to the Walking Dead type thing where we talk about everything that's happened over the time.
Yes.
And not to mention, Quin is in leadership at his job, so he's got various commitments and children and all that kind of stuff too. So, okay.
Sometimes.
What's that?
Set it on fire sometimes.
Any comments on the Tales of the Walking Dead spinoff there?
I think it's going to be very interesting. You can do a lot of kooky and crazy things. I mean, not with like having Star Wars Visions in mind of like of how kooky and crazy it got, but they can definitely tell some funnier stories. They could tell some much darker stories. They could tell some stories that's literally nothing but like Terry Crews in a field fighting zombies for 15 minutes. They could be. So
they're supposed to bring some folks back too, from what I understand. We might get a kind of like a little backstory for Alpha. We might get
cool.
Shoot, I just lost his face. Man with the hammer, big black guy. Tyrese. I was like Ty something. We might get Tyrese backstory. Yeah, we're supposed to get some backstory it's kind of like just kind of fills in the gaps and stuff like that too of the universe, which could be interesting. But at first I was a little skeptical because I was like, man, these are just like webisode stuff. But with the names they're throwing down, like it actually could be something fun, something big. They're dumping some money into it.
Really good. And then, they would also, if they not just have all these like major names coming back, as well as some of these other folks who've been in various other things coming here. If they invite certain directors to just, or the directors, producers, just to like show up, say, "Hey, let's do a thing for us." That'll be really fun. Like they could, and this is just thinking because I want a horror comedy one now. They could get Sam Raimi to do one, and I think that would be very fun.
Greg Nicotero could probably pull that string. He could probably make that happen.
Mostly, yeah.
And shoot, I forget her name. The main executive producer.
Angela Kang.
Yeah, no, not Angela. Yeah. She's a showrunner. Gail Ann Hurd.
Gail Ann Hurd.
Excuse me.
Okay. So yeah, there could be a lot of possibilities.
Rodriguez would be a cool one.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one.
Tarantino used to write TV episodes. He would be a cool guy to bring in.
That'd be neat. Yeah. Trying to think who else would just be really fun. Oh, we could do that all day.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, I mean, things like that. So before the break, I was like, it's really hard to be down, or really easy, excuse me, to be down on this show because of what it was and how it's kind of fumbled the ball a lot, several times in the last couple seasons with Carl and Rick and Michonne and all these different things that it kind of like lost its luster. But Angela Kang, I like her vision for the show. However, sometimes it does seem like it's getting a little. It does veer very heavily into soap opera type stuff with lack of character development or story, and it's just kind of like dramatic happenings with these people,
Yeah.
So, but it is fun where she's taking it, and I do believe that it's going to be good. She's also going to be the showrunner for the Carol and Daryl spinoff, which obviously those two have plot armor unless they do some like between the gaps stuff, which would be really weird. Some like Dave Filoni magic.
Yeah. I kind of hope. At this point, I'm like, okay, I want Carol and Daryl to survive to the end, because if they kill them off in the end, I feel like they're doing it just so that they could kill them off in the end. Just like Spider-Man 3 killing Harry in the end. I feel like they just kind of killed Harry just to kill Harry.
Yeah. It was kind of forced. Trying to force emotion on fans.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my sinuses are doing crazy stuff from the weather. So if I get a little grumbly or snorty, I'm sorry about that. I know that can be triggering for some folks. I mean, like, really disturbing.
Yeah.
Some people just can't listen when they're hearing all that stuff. But we're live streaming, so I can't just cut it out. So that's just how it is. Yeah. So seeing them drop those big names and put this kind of money into a spinoff like this. Not to mention, the AMC leadership has changed hands, and so they've got a new person to run in AMC. So maybe priorities have changed and ideas and creativity. But with these things happening and these exciting name drops, this could be very well something interesting where they are trying to revive the excitement of the series where they really, really need it. Because, I mean, I tell people that I do a Broken Dead or a Walking Dead podcast, and they're like, people still watch that show. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, this is one of the shows that everybody used to watch, and now it's like, it's hard. It's almost hard to find people who still watch it, And those are like just the hardcore fans. It's like the reason to be honest, the reason we're still doing a podcast is to finish out the season, finish out the series, and if something else gets us excited along the way, maybe we'll continue doing The Broken Dead. But for now, we're just finishing out The Walking Dead Prime. So we'll see how it goes. And to be honest, I mean, like I said, I'm excited for how Angela Kang is working her magic, but she did have a lot of course correction to do to get there. Even though part one of this season was kind of like, it had some good moments.
It did.
All right.
I think around episode 12, 13, it'll probably pick up again. At least I hope.
Yeah, and to be fair, typically in the beginning, like the first half of the season, it's usually slow build, and then the second half is where it gets exciting. Like that's typically the formula. So, and a lot of people complain, always complain about the first half of the season. So that could just be where we're at with it, and it's going to get crazy going forward.
It should be good.
Yeah, which would be really good, especially for the really. I mean, because we're fans of the show, we want to see it do well. We want to see The Walking Dead Prime, especially this show, not necessarily the spinoffs. We want to see the main show end on a high note. So, with that said, let me just kind of name off these other spinoffs that are still in the works, as far as we know, unless they've been canceled and just not talking about it anymore. Of course, we still got Fear the Walking Dead that's going. The World Beyond has ended. Season 2 was only going 2 seasons, and there were some big implications for Jadis showing up, and the main ties back to the main series. So we're getting supposedly one called Dead in the Water that's a Fear the Walking Dead spinoff, which for all I know might just be Dead in the Water itself. There's supposed to be a comedy spinoff, kind of like how Star Trek has like Lower Decks and that kind of thing. Possibly a Negan spinoff, and of course Fear.
We'll get into the Negan spinoff when we talk about the show. Most Def.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. So we did forget to do our spoiler alert. So
yeah.
Go ahead
and. If you haven't left now, well, sorry for spoiling you on anything we have spoiled you on, but this is your actual spoiler alert. What's the other part of this? Oh yeah, in this episode of The Broken Dead, we are going to be talking about Season 11, Episode 9, No Other Way. Right? Yeah. So if you haven't watched that, pause this, go watch that, and then come back. You have been warned.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, they, I guess.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and do the episode intro as well?
I shall. Season 11, Episode 9, No Other Way. Daryl, Maggie, Gabriel, Negan, and Elijah battle the Reapers for food, while Aaron and the Alexandrians must survive a storm.
Bum, bum, bum.
Why did they have to list everybody's name? That irks me that they did that.
Yeah, I guess because they don't want everybody to forget who. I don't know. That might be a contract thing too, where if I'm in it, I have to be named. I don't know.
Weird. That'd be funny. That'd be weird and funny. The situations that you have to create because of that.
Yeah, it can get really weird with contract stuff.
Okay.
Like some people have things in their contract where the title, depending on where, how much pull you have, the title on the poster cannot be higher than your name, or no one else's name can be higher than your name on the hierarchy of the poster. It gets pretty nuts.
which is like why those like sometimes I think who was it? It was somebody's movie. It might have been it was someone's movie. Their name was like above the title, and then the title, and then like everything else was normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had the actor's name, and then it said it's like their name in, and then the name of the movie. I think I have it somewhere.
Yeah, that's like Tom Cruise status stuff right there. Like where he as the lead male has to stand on an apple box, so he appears taller than the female lead.
Jack Reacher. What you said it. It was Jack Reacher. Yep.
Yeah, which is why I mean, like, why everybody likes Tom Cruise to a certain degree, but like I have some issues with him because of ego stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't want to see him play Iron Man. But I mean, it fits. It's like Harry Styles as what's his face.
Firefox.
I don't like Harry Styles for reasons, but he fits the character. It's a good fit.
Fits the character. Yeah.
So
right.
yeah. Anyways,
So
we'll talk about that
rate
type
the
of stuff
episode.
tomorrow night. So tune in tomorrow night for Marvel Talk, where we'll probably talk the Moon. I say probably like we haven't already discussed it. The Moon Knight trailer from the Super Bowl.
All right.
You'd figure the day before we would have that decided already, but we're busy people.
So, what did you rate this episode?
I really liked this episode. I like nothing. Sometimes it's hard for me to watch these episodes and things just stand out that are cringy. Excuse me. Or just rub me the wrong way. Excuse me. Or could have done better. Could have been done better as far as either the writing or the pacing or the cinematography, the storytelling with the camera. But this one, I mean, there was only, like just one or two things, but I mean, other than that, it was pretty dang good. I'm going to go ahead and call this one a 9. 9 Hawatches out of 10.
Okay. I'm going to have to give this episode for a couple of things. 7 different timelines out of 10.
Different timelines. Interesting.
Yep, because
I feel like that's
episode,
alluding to something.
Yep, boy howdy. So they since the dawn of The Walking Dead, the TV show, we're just gonna jump right into it. This little piece of it, they've changed things from the comics, and that's given. No person who is making a TV adaptation of something wants to directly just adaptate the source material. Adapt.
Adapt.
Why is he wait? Are they not both words? Adapt. Someone else's creation into something else. Excuse me. Especially if it is live action, and that's understandable, or just real, because I don't know if they use a lot of effects. I don't know what why something is live action actually. Anyway, The Walking Dead. I got off course because then I started thinking about live action, but so
live
yeah,
action is like people, like real life people.
okay.
Not animated.
Why do they call it whatever? Okay. So yeah, and they've changed things as time has gone on. Some characters were never introduced. Some characters were remixed, gender bent, other things. Daryl doesn't even exist. And even like, was it last season or a couple seasons ago? Had them shown Ezekiel's last season. Was shown Ezekiel kiss, and then Ezekiel said the line, oh, maybe in a different timeline. It just kind of like solidifying even more that The Walking Dead that we're watching on the TV is a parallel timeline to The Walking Dead that you can read in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain events happen that are exactly the same, but then there are certain events that just don't happen at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all. And this episode was another one of those events. We'll start, I guess, with the first half of the Daryl. Well, we're kind of more the first half. Daryl, Maggie, Ezekiel, Elijah, not Ezekiel. Elijah, Gabriel, and all them fighting the Reapers. Overall, we knew they were going to survive. I don't know why they left us on a cliffhanger last season.
Yeah.
Or first half.
That was one of the big gripes, is because they were like left it on a huge cliffhanger, and then immediately following the episode, they showed us a teaser for part 2 where these characters were fine. So it was like, why? Like all the work you did, you just undid it.
Just undid it. Made us think somebody was going to actually die.
Yeah, maybe they're gun shy for the Negan cliffhanger.
Yeah. So they found themselves, I guess, I think I missed the first part of this episode twice in a row because I had it playing off to the left of me as well. And I think I missed the first part of this episode twice. When did it turn daytime for Maggie and all them?
Oh, I guess they fought overnight. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't realize that. Yeah, because it was, it was definitely night when they were fighting, and the Hawacha got shot and mysteriously killed all the walkers, but not any live people besides the one guy that Maggie was fighting.
The one guy. Yep. Then they all go into the building. Daryl ends up.
They played. Maybe they just played hide and seek overnight. Maybe that's what it was. Like they just had a lock in.
They had a lock. Patty cake. Thank man. How many walkers is gonna eat it? That's within rhyme. But at the end of last season, let's just call it a season. It makes life easier. At the end of last season, last year, old girl killed Pope. I forgot her name already.
Old girl killed who? Oh, Pope. Right. Leah.
Lee. Yep. Leah. She killed Pope. Then Daryl killed another one of the Reapers. She was like, wait, no, I was just killing Pope. What are you doing? And then she gets on the radio. Everybody, Daryl killed Pope. So Daryl's in like, oh, crap.
Yeah, as if that one guy wasn't making a move to do something about her killing Pope, and Daryl reacted and killed the guy.
Yep. And then her being, I don't know what her train of thought was. I wish we had a bit more insight into that of why she decided to just go ahead and turn on Daryl from that point.
She wanted to be the big dog, that's why.
She wanted to be the big dog, but at the same time, like, Daryl would have jumped if she just said, please. And he would have been like, all right, where do you want me to put the ring? And then she would have been like this finger. But,
I know, like Daryl is so unlucky in love. Like he is like one of the only characters who has not had a solid love interest. Like he had the time in the cabin with Leah. So I guess that's technically, and maybe, I mean, around season 3 or 4, him and Carol kind of had a little thing because there was that time where she was like, hey, you want to go make out? And he was like, so maybe they had a little fling, but so, I mean, he hasn't had an on-screen, like, where we see him continuously in a relationship.
Yeah, like at all. And it's kind of sad, but I guess that's the thing if you're the tragic hero a little bit.
They got to keep him in check there.
Yeah. So he's going through this building, which turns out is, I guess, a school, playing hide and seek with the Reapers.
Well, so Meridian is where Maggie and her crew used to live. That was their base, and it was taken over by the Reapers. Yeah.
Okay. Now
that's why Maggie was like so dead set about like we got to go get our food.
About vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. So they were in there. Daryl then was playing hide and seek very well somehow. The one thing that really got me was when went to the classroom, the Reaper was coming, and then Daryl's just gone. I'm like, where did Daryl go? Then you see the hand pop out, and then it's like, well, how did you know that was that? That's fine, I guess, but it's things like that.
Right,
but
yeah, that little spot there. So like the Maggie one made sense, where the the little shelf folded back, and they had a secret room because that's where they used to live. But for Daryl to hide behind that chalkboard, that was kind of
yeah. So there were, unless he was just like exploring the entire place when he was just on his own, or when he was with them. So
he's just resourceful, Quin. God,
okay.
He's Daryl. Don't you
Daryl.
ever disrespect Daryl in my presence?
Ow. Then we got a good old hallway fight.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Because Carver was basically Daredevil. He was like superhuman.
Go ahead.
That was one of my gripes with the show, is that Angela Kang made a point in her after episode thing to say that the Reapers are mercenaries and they're more difficult to deal with, and so when you've got like our crew versus a Reaper, it's going to be harder for them to take them out. And she made a point of that in the hallway fight with Carver, where it was 3-on-1 or 3-on-1 because Daryl hadn't showed up yet. But every other time it was 1-on-1, our crew still dealt with that person just fine. Even though earlier, like, I kind of give it to him earlier, where Maggie, when she was fighting the dude in the little trailer thing, in that storage unit thing, and she kneed him in the crotch, and then was able to throw him out there, and Hwacha got him. So she kind of took advantage of her
surroundings.
And kneed him in the crotch and got one over on him, but every other time nobody seemed to have any trouble dealing with them either, even though they're trained military.
Well, so there have been times, and it kind of goes, it's this weird balance that happens back and forth. Because like last season, we'll just say Walking Dead last year or whatever, when they made it to the forest, the Reapers took them, like, effectively, like, started picking them off.
Yeah.
And that was a time when you really kind of saw the difference in power levels, if we can say. And then we also had one of the other Reapers, even before that, who was sniping, and it took them a minute to get there. And that was just from, like, being an actual sniper. But they eventually still got to them. Every other Reaper, minus a couple other times, they had to have like 2 or 3 people to deal with a situation, and this just seems like one of those situations based on whoever they're dealing with, like skill level. Like when you're watching, this is a TV show. Like when you're watching a TV show and you have the main bad guy, and then he has like his 4 guys who also have names. Those guys are going to be more difficult to deal with than the 5 Dales that they have. So there were times they were dealing with a Dale, and then there was times they were dealing with somebody who had a name. Yeah, and that's kind of how that goes in my brain. Mini bosses. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Carver was definitely a mini boss.
Yep, he jumped off a wall and punched somebody. Anytime you do that, you realize I have picked the wrong person today.
Yeah, you get the cool fight scenes.
Oh, you realize you picked the wrong person today.
Yeah, except that Negan was a whole ass boss himself,
Yep.
and he's fighting a mini boss.
When you unlock the boss characters, they're never as strong as when you fight them. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, and when somebody becomes a good guy, they're not as strong either. Apparently,
Nope.
you've explained that before too. They're not as ruthless, unless you're Maggie.
Unless you're Maggie, unless you're a good guy slowly becoming the bad guy, then yeah. So the Maggie, they finally got the upper hand on him thanks to Negan. MVP of the episode yet again.
Rang his bell.
Literally. Then Maggie was up there. She had Elijah's scythe. She was about to go up there and just put that mess right under the man's chin. Scythe, knife, it was one of them. And really about to like end this. Then Daryl shows up. Oh, I found y'all. Oh, wait, please. Don't kill him.
Yeah.
She's like, why? He's like, we can use him to get out of here. And she's
like he made a point, but I feel like he was playing too much to try to save Leah. You know what I mean?
He was trying to save his wife, but whatever. She was firmly on the other side of the boat.
Yeah, she wasn't having it.
Nope.
Yeah, I knew as soon as they showed up with Carver, I was like, that's a mistake because these people are not going to they're not going to negotiate, and you're putting yourself out there in the open like this is just a dumb mistake, Daryl. Like you know better. Like I feel like Maggie Maggie and Gabriel had the right idea with these type of people. Like you can't give them opportunity because they're going to take it.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and just knock Gabriel out the way. His two parts in this massacre. Gabriel is not okay.
No. No, he is not. However, he did say, I am Gabriel, like I am the archangel. You can call me Gabriel.
This man, from the first time we meet him,
is what he is.
when the man in black comes around, run. Because
I did appreciate this time when he was aiming, he used his good eye this time instead of aiming with his good eye.
Somebody said, "Hey, you can't see out of that eye." Oh, right. And he gutted the other priest after the other priest was like, "Sam, I'm not."
Yeah, put my weapon away. Which I don't know if I would have trusted him. Like that was kind of like a little iffy because I feel like that guy would have taken advantage once Gabriel put his weapon away.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but
like that. I mean that makes you question your faith. Is like this guy gets to hear from God and I don't. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I mean, at this point, maybe you are the bad guys because if we look at the crew, if we look at our group now, at any point, but before this point, if they would have come up against our earlier crew, they would have been the bad guys.
Most definitely. At this point, like, oops, sorry, I hit my camera phone. My camera phone. Why did I say camera phone? Desperation makes good people make bad decisions. Mm-hmm. And they are all very desperate. Maggie, the most desperate. And they've been making bad decisions for quite a few episodes. And Gabriel for quite a few seasons. And now that it's all starting to, it kind of peaked in this episode just because of what we know what happens at the end of this episode, but it kind of peaked, and now I'm curious of where everybody's going now that they're at this point. Because Gabriel then kills the priest. Then we don't see Gabriel again until the standoff with the trade. Turns out it's a trap. We had a feeling.
I mean, thank goodness Gabriel was there. Otherwise, they were screwed.
Otherwise, somebody would have got shot in the kneecap and probably dead.
The plot armor is so thick.
Super thick.
But I feel like they did that well, because I honestly did forget where Gabriel was going, and so I was kind of surprised by the sniper thing again. Like, oh yeah, that's right, Gabriel.
So Gabriel then makes his way up. He takes out the sniper. She's like, kill him. And she's like, who's it? And he's like, my name is Gabriel. Like, he really wanted to be Batman. I just surprised he didn't say, I'm Batman. And Daryl was like, you could quit. Leah was like, does your deal still stand? Because she's like, we lost. I don't want to die. So then they ended
Maggie was like, done.
And once, literally, and the fact that they were running away, they were disarmed, and they were defeated, and then Maggie looks at Elijah, starts walking, pulls out the gun, and starts capping. It's
the heel turn. But I mean, so it was played like there was a heel turn there, and it was like kind of like she was almost doing what was right by Elijah. But I mean, because Elijah, like, he was like, vengeance, I want vengeance the entire time. Like, he was so one-angled. But this side of Maggie has been building since the beginning of this season, at the very least.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, where she was just like so unlikable, and now it's finally she's doing for somebody else, and now suddenly she's the hero. It's like, is she though?
Yeah, no, she wasn't the hero. Not the hero at all. The hero would have just let them go and then let them be a problem later. I
feel like it was a Rick move. But at the same time, it's funny, though, because what Daryl did was also a Rick move. And so I think that's kind of interesting. Is like, there's like the two sides to Rick, where Maggie took him out, but Daryl was also like, what was that? What the hell was that? You know, it's like, are we just going to keep killing each other over and over?
Because, I mean, he was trying to get peace. He wanted peace. And he thought, ooh, sorry, hold on, I want to clear my throat.
Yeah, but Negan was observing this the whole time, and obviously picked a certain side, and that's why he got the hell out of there.
Yeah. Daryl, continue on then the jump onto that. Daryl wanted peace. He was hoping for peace in any way that he could. And then he was thinking, maybe in time we can have peace, but everybody has to, like, peace out so we can cool down. And then that's just out the window. Daryl then went and tracked Leah down. He still let her go. He said his piece. And he was like, we could have just not done this. And we could have just, I would have had your babies, Leah. And then...
Me, you, and dog could have been a family.
And then he went back. So he found nothing.
Don't make me change my mind.
Yep. And Maggie goes on after they get the food and everything and saddle up, send Gabriel and Elijah on, and Daryl, I think, too. But Maggie goes back to the church where we left Alden. Yeah. That was my number one thing for this episode so last year they put the person who was already going to die in there. Like, you know how the thing of at every season used to be every season premiere and every like mid-season finale and season finale somebody has to go kind of thing they used to have.
Mm.
They set it up so that Alden would just be the somebody that has to go for this premiere because he said, and that was like they couldn't let him like miraculously live. No, because I mean you can kill him off later, but they're like let's just make life even harder. Now y'all have nobody who can be a blacksmith because all of them are dead.
Yeah, and Adam as a baby ain't got no daddy. Poor baby done lost his daddy like 3 times.
Yep. Oh God. Yep. You ain't got no more doctors. You ain't got a lot of stuff. So y'all are like back to season 1 basically.
Another thing with Alden is, of course, he was a remix from the love interest of Maggie in the comics. That he kind of got a little bit of that, but it never really came to fruition on the show between him and Maggie. Probably because of Lauren Cohan's exit. Yeah,
he was with Edith, and then Edith died, and then Maggie came back, and he was all up on Maggie, but he wasn't all up on Maggie. If y'all understand what I mean.
Sure.
Yes. So he was like agreeing with everything that she said. It's like Maggie can't do wrong. She's Maggie.
Yeah. But well, I mean, he was like, a savior. I think she was the one that kind of like brought him in. So maybe that's, and if I remember correctly, he was one of the dudes that was in the room when she was plotting against Rick before her exit, you know, all that stuff. Remember that season finale where it was like her and Daryl and she was like, Rick is wrong and we're going to show him. And it's just weird. That never really came to anything.
Nope. Unless it's a super slow burn.
I don't know. Rick's gone now anyway, so it don't matter.
I mean, all it takes is a Judith. I can't do it. I don't even know how he would sound. Later. Because I was about to say Carl, but Carl's gone. So that doesn't matter. She put him down.
I can't help the humongous eye roll that happens every single time I realize Carl's not on the show anymore.
Well, you and me both. Because I'm wondering what this time skip at the end is going to look like now.
But also another thing with the Alden thing is, do you remember like when so there was the guy that Daryl snuck in and killed and just kind of like laid, was holding his mouth as the other ones went by, and he, laid him on the ground. He was dead. And then he hid, and they came in and found him dead, and Leah was just like, oh my God, another one, and it was just like,
oh yeah.
She's like these B characters that we didn't even get to know, and she's just so brokenhearted. I'm a family. I know, right? And but then like the Reaper that was in the room with Alden that was dead, it was like, did we ever see her grieve over him? Like, apparently, I don't know. It's just like, it just seems inconsistent. I mean, maybe it's not, but it just seems that way.
I think if we didn't have these giant gaps in between, maybe it would feel less inconsistent than it does as it does. So, maybe. But giant gaps don't help all the time, unless you have unless your show is basically like 2 different seasons put into one. But after she buried him, you got the shot of Negan showing up. The pipe drops down, holding it in his hand. Maggie's back is turned to him. The music changes. The tone of everything around everything changes. And he just was like, fam, you didn't have to do that. Paraphrasing here, y'all. Fam, you didn't have to do that. They were just gonna leave. We won. But I realized at the end of the day, you're gonna do what the hell you actually want to do. So, peace out. Because I'm not finna let you shoot me in the neck.
I know, and
So
there was like even this big will they won't they thing with her and Negan during the part one, where it was like, are they actually kind of like flirting? Like, is there something like this weird sexual tension? But there was kind of like this mutual respect where, you know, it's like, but she just wanted to kill him.
Yep. So,
But we know from the teasers that Negan will come back, even though he is gone.
Yeah. But the one thing, so this is the moment where the timelines are parallel but different. Because after they deal with the Whisperers, Maggie is there, and it's not even moments. It's panels after Negan comes back from killing Alpha. Maggie's like, all right, you did this. Thanks, but no thanks. You can leave and never come back. I see your face. I will kill you. And Negan's like, okay, peace out. And that's it. No more Negan.
Oh, so they kind of flipped that where it was his choice to leave instead of her telling him to go.
Yep. But her running him off and threatening him with death, which they did because obviously they're going to use him for more for later in the show. And then it also makes Maggie, it forces Maggie to self-reflect of like, if Negan is saying this to me, maybe I have gone too far, hopefully. And then she the wheels start turning to her changing in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Maybe.
We'll
so Maggie is so hardcore protect her people that she doesn't even care who her people used to be. It's just like only my people that are with me now. Like she is so far out there. Like you can tell by the way her son is that, you know, that it's just like, I mean, hard times broke this woman, but she's ruthless, you know? It's like, I don't know. I mean, everybody's kind of team Maggie right now, but I mean, everybody was team Negan because she was so unlikable in part one, but now with this heel turn, everybody's kind of team Maggie because those Reapers got what they deserved, but now we're seeing, I know, right? I don't know, like I'm kind of on the fence with that because I'm not sure if they'd have let them go if they would have just left it alone, because they didn't. They were hunting them. Remember? Because after they left Meridian, they were hunting them, and they tracked them all. They tried to track them all the way back to Alexandria.
I don't think Leah could have got out of there without have killed at least Maggie. Meaning, I don't think the other Reapers would have been like, no, we're not gonna just let her go. Like Maggie or Daryl would have had to die if Leah kept the upper hand.
Yeah, Maggie for the guys, and I think Daryl for her own self.
Yeah. So they played it. Our group, the Maggie, Daryl, Negan group, getting the upper hand was probably the best thing for them in the long run. Because at least one of them would have died in the short term on the other side. But Maggie then going and hearing that goddamn Mortal Kombat finish them made things a bit worse. And I mean, she told the story of like, you know, the moments of her being away that darkened her soul and like ate at her humanity and made her lose faith in like a human race as a whole. But she's starting to get to a point where she's about to become baseline Negan, I think.
Yeah, she's becoming the thing she hates.
Yeah. So all she's missing now is a signature weapon. That's all she's missing.
Yeah, you're right. She got that revolver.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah. And that's ultimately the end of their story until we get back to Alexandria after they finish what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I do like the idea of them kind of following in the wake of Rick. Like I think it's a little late, but I like the two sides of Rick kind of following those paths where she's taken on like the type of Rick that Michonne had to bonk on the head with her sword and knock him out in the middle of Alexandria. And Daryl's taken the more spare Negan type of Rick, after Carl, and kind of following those two lines of the wake of Rick and his influence on the group. I think that would have been really smart to do like immediately after, but I mean, now it's still going to be fun, but I mean, we're in the death throes of the show, but I mean, we're in the last season of the show. So, I mean, it'd still be kind of fun to watch, but I mean.
You know where that would have ended up, Dylan?
Another war? Like a civil war?
Civil War. It would have literally ended up in Civil War. Like, they've
done every other kind of war, so.
They've done every other kind of war. Like, literally, I think it would have ended up being Daryl and Maggie head-to-head. Oh, that kind of would have been cool, though. Daryl, Maggie head-to-head, and then, like, at the last moments, Rick and his new crew, because it's basically an army at this point, like, show up and be like, y'all need to calm this down.
That would have been awesome for them to, like, be going like on the verge of war and going head to head, where they're both arguing like they think they're right and living Rick's legacy or whatever, and then Rick shows up with the Commonwealth as like one of the lieutenants, saying, "Hey, what the hell is happening right now? I didn't leave you guys like this," or something. You know, that would have been insane.
Yep. Oh man. Well, we don't get to write the show, Dylan. So
unless we're still going there, and that's why Andrew Lincoln was in Atlanta. You know, because I mean, with the 6-month gap timeline, maybe that's actually what we're getting. But Rick is in the Commonwealth, and Daryl has met with Rick and is like, dude, yeah, and he's coming off of
and Maggie's still on that horse of Rick ain't right, so she's
maybe and she doesn't even know about Rick being alive or something. I don't know. Yeah. She's just defending her people, you know.
Interesting. Put a pin in that. So rewind time, but still in the same time, but a different timeline. That time it really did rhyme. I did not mean to do that. It just popped right out of my mind. Okay, I'm going to stop.
This time.
So we left off somehow in mourning again. Last time we saw Alexandria, they were in the middle of a storm. Judith and Gracie were in the basement. It was flooding, and they were
before we go there just yet, I did want to touch on Daryl leaving Leah alive.
Oh yeah.
Because I get it, but I feel like that was a mistake because they have also showed her in the teaser, and she's got that scar in her shoulder, so she is coming back, and like I feel like there's something about that woman. She ain't gonna let it die. She's gonna come back, and she's gonna be like we were talking about last time. Like we're watching the birth of a villain.
Yeah. Maggie's arch nemesis.
Yeah, or even Daryl's.
Or even Daryl's. Daryl said that's my wife still. It'll be interesting to see what she becomes or who she becomes. Because I would like, they could do, the double turn where ultimately she ends up becoming someone who's more good aligned, and it's just she's still out for vengeance, but she's good quotations, and we see Maggie go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into darkness. And then it just like we're watching the villain fight the hero who are not actually fighting. Or not fighting, following. If that makes any child's awake, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what becomes of her. I have my glasses.
Yep. So yeah, that's all I wanted to touch on. It's like that's going to be interesting to see play out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
right.
what were you saying about
Alexandria? Zombies got in the house at the end of the last episode 8. I guess we can say episode 8. In episode 8, zombies got in the house. Storm.
We saw Rosita had a badass.
She had the Michonne pose. And then Gracie and Judith got stuck down the basement, not surrounded by zombies yet. The zombies were outside the door, walkers. And the basement was flooding. While everybody else was trying to get out.
Yeah, and then Rosita and Lydia got caught on the stairs, but it was a cliffhanger about like where was Lydia and what was going to happen with Judith and Gracie.
Yeah, who died? I think that's the part I missed. Somebody died. It might have been the end of the last episode because Lydia was like, "What? He died? Oh, wait, it was Maggie's group. Never mind. It was Maggie's group that somebody died that she was bummed out about." And that's at the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, because Negan left and Lydia was bummed about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why did I think they were saying a different name? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, they were fighting off a whole bunch of walkers. Gracie was trying to be brave as she can, but Judith was like, I got you, girl. It's time. We best friends. Okay, do the snap, fist bump, hand clap. And they were like stuck between a flood and walkers, literally. While Aaron and, dude, I forgot his name. Cool guy. He's always really cool. Ezekiel's right hand.
Oh, Jerry,
there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, they're trying to stop the fire in the windmill.
Yep, realizing that they're not firefighters and they have water, but they don't have water. They have more wind than they have water. So they're like, what are we actually doing?
Yeah.
And
all
then
the while,
realized
walkers are getting in all around them. And
yep. So
I feel like they could have played that up a lot more than they did. Like, we didn't see a whole lot of that, and that's actually pretty crazy. But we didn't see any of that on screen.
No. So it was insane. They ended up having to abandon the windmill. Aaron ended up hearing the I can't do it. Hearing the the emergency whistle from Gracie.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
And then Tom Cruise running over there, running like this, trying to get to. Where do I hear it from? My bat radar says it's over here. And then he gets in there. Crazy!
Yeah, and then somehow he climbs through that window and leaps and kills a walker. It's like,
and he's in, like,
they did some like
very
very convenient cuts with Aaron here.
I'm like, and so in my headcanon now, he got up, he ran back, he went in there feet first, but caught
like
the edge of the wall,
slid into.
And then jumped up and was like, ah! Just as the camera came back on.
Right.
And so he's there fighting the zombies. Judith lost her sword before this happened, and he was able then to get the girls out, and he just stayed down there and started
Well,
playing
those things are
whack-a-mole.
bleeding on him in the water. That was,
Yeah, I'm like,
he should like
oh,
have
don't,
some kind of infection or something.
yeah, don't drink that, fam. You don't want to go
Yeah.
blind and like your teeth fall out. So,
But also, like they conveniently skipped the part of how he got up on the pipes with his ball round arm, round
yeah.
hand. Like, how did he get up there and hold on?
And the King of Cuts continued on to do crazy things while the camera was not looking at him. Ow, I have like an itch on my back. It's really itchy. Dude, this is not funny. But oh man, I can't remember the Alexandria parts as much because I feel like they weren't over there that often for this episode. They ended up making it through the storm ultimately. Everybody,
and they didn't really resolve because remember they said, man, we've got to put out that fire in the windmill or it's going to be a bigger problem. It's going to knock out the wall or something like that. But then they didn't really kind of talk about how they got it done.
well, the next thing I really remember from Alexandria was like the scene where they have piles of bodies being burned. Alexandria looks like a desolate wasteland because at this point it is. And how far and how much have things have changed since the first time we've been in Alexandria? It's sad and crazy at the same time, and astonishing. But most everybody survived. They have few scrapes, few bruises. Where did Carol go? Carol went with Connie.
That's a good question.
And
that's right.
Yeah. What did they
go
do?
What they were trying to do. I forgot.
I think it was also off camera.
Yeah.
We might get maybe some flashes of that in later episodes or something. But then Gabriel, Maggie, Daryl, Elijah, they all finally make it back. Gates open up. They have food. Everybody's happy. Daryl's passing out apples. He sees his girlfriend and like, oh, have the apples, dog, eat the apples.
Yeah.
And
so that was a weird kind of like they were excited to see each other. Like he drops the apples, but like she had her little adventure with what's his name? I forget his name.
Not Virgil. Is it Virgil?
Yeah, Virgil. And then which Virgil never mentioned Michonne, even though whatever.
Not once.
But yeah, even though that was a perfect opportunity, like why even bring him back unless you're going to move the story forward, like the main story. And then of course Daryl had his little adventure with Leah. So like they've kind of had like their own little things, and now they're coming back together. So it's like, I mean, he thought she was dead. So I feel like that reunion was. They should have played it up a little bit more, like with the camera work and storytelling, instead of just like, oh, he drops the apples and yay, we're happy. But you know, I've got so much to tell you, and like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of casual for as much as as big a deal as it was.
For him not finding out anything, like for them not being able to like radio, it's like, hey, guess who's alive? And he's now like literally just finding out that she's back.
Yeah, or at least like play that up, show Carol's reaction to that too, you know? Like there's so much there they could have played into.
Yeah. They could have, but they didn't. Probably for time. Who knows?
TV time restraints or whatever. But I mean, you got one of the biggest shows on TV. You got money.
Yeah. So, but everybody got there, got some food, everybody's happy, everybody's back. And then we get that scene. We get Jerry up there like, something's coming.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about like Eugene. Oh, my bad. You didn't go as far ahead as I thought. My bad. Sorry to interrupt your moment, dude.
Something's coming, and then camera pans, and you see white suits and a carriage coming their way. Yeah, stormtroopers, literally. Everybody, like, they get ready. They're like, okay, let's fight. They look back. Should we fight, or should we just let them have this? Because
not Maggie though. She didn't even like. She's just like in that mode. She's fight. She's not even thinking.
She said murder. Oh, I'm up for it. Let's go. So everybody's up there ready to go at it, and then who should? And they were Commonwealth soldiers. Were not hesitating. They were like, they're drawing bows and arrows on us. How would you like a chest full of lead today? Put your ass on a t-shirt, you're going to be dead on the ground right over there.
Which is crazy because they're going on a peace mission to rescue. Like, they know why they're going, and these people draw on them. They're like, oh, this is where we're at. This is it now.
Where we at. One of the soldiers up there like, I'm going to make somebody catch some rigor mortis today.
It's like, all right. I needed some excitement.
One random dude. No, I can't do the joke. I'm not. Okay. So yeah. Then who and lo and behold would stop them from wanting to just, stop the Alexandrians from getting massacred was our old boy Eugene.
Yeah. And last time we saw him, what's his face kind of had him over a barrel, like, because he was in trouble with the Commonwealth for punching Pamela Milton's son, and they had him in jail, and they were like, all right, I can't really help you unless you tell me where they are. And he's like, well, I don't have the authority to do that. Oh, well, hold on, wait a minute.
Yep.
But
so he did.
Doesn't even have a problem with it now.
No. And then I forgot the representative's name.
Yeah, me too. I see his face, but
I see his smug face.
Yeah, his car salesman, slimy looking.
Yep.
I know. After all this, and dude shows up in a 3-piece suit, like, you got to be like, do I trust this guy?
Thing that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Why do you smell like lilac and cherries? Because I took a
Emphasis
shower
on lie.
Took a shower yesterday. A shower? What sort of sorcery is this?
I know. Like, he might as well just have said, "Oh yeah, when things went to hell, I'm the government guy that survived in the giant safe where all the government officials."
Look, I need y'all.
And now we're here to rescue you.
Yes, I need this diplomatic mission to be over with. I got to go back home and watch Game of Thrones.
I know, right?
A little kid's like, "What's Game of Thrones, mommy?" Don't worry about it, honey. Just don't. What did you just say?
At the community theater, it's a reenactment, and they're rewriting the last few seasons. It's great.
Season 9 is supposed to come out next week.
And what's great is, like, we have one of the cast members that survived, and he's in the community with us. He's telling us all this fun stuff.
Awesome.
He's in charge of rewriting everything.
We have George R. R. Martin's corpse just kind of on a chain, and
and they use real walkers for the White Walkers. He's gotta spray them down with flour or something.
I want to watch this now. So yeah, and he gives everybody the old sales pitch, and we don't get an answer from the Alexandrians. We just get a time skip.
which was like the smoothest, coolest time skip I've seen in a while. It was really cool. I was like, why are the colors getting dull? And then I was like, wait a minute.
So yeah, from that last scene, they're back at Hilltop. Maggie is there in some capacity, and old dude is not wearing a three-piece suit, but he's wearing like one of those like something a dad would wear if he's about to go on a camping trip, but they're not actually doing camping. He's like, they're sleeping in a camper, and it's not like a regular camper. It's like one of those really luxury campers.
They're glamping.
They're glamping. So he looks like a dad that's about to go glamping. Walks over to one of the stormtroopers and says something. Stormtrooper walks over. Maggie, it doesn't have to be this way. Stormtrooper. it's Daryl.
Still as greasy as ever, even though he's had 6 months of showers.
6 months of showers. I don't shower. What do I need that water for?
He's such a grease monkey.
Nobody wants to be next to him in the locker room. He looks up at Maggie. Yeah, it does. And then that's it.
So, I mean, with that scene, like, they could be playing out like I would love it if they were playing out the two sides of the philosophy of Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the legacy of Rick. Like, that would be so smart. And just kind of, I don't know, that just makes more sense. Because they've kind of abandoned the whole, even though they're still like
everything
promising this fulfillment of Rick coming back and Michonne and all. It's even with like Virgil coming back on the show, they've kind of abandoned this whole timeline, this whole storyline.
Yeah. So I don't know what their plans for the future are. I have hope. I know it's going to be either way. They're going to make it engaging. They're going to make it interesting, and if it does end up being like the tale of two Ricks, yeah, the tale of two Ricks, I'll enjoy it because it'll give me that good old come back to the light side, but the dark side's really cool because we get ships that look like this type of stuff. So, and ultimately feeling like Daryl wanting to do the right thing, going to Commonwealth, who will have their turn, I'm sure, and turn out to be the bad guys. And Maggie then being kind of the darker one who's like, you don't need to be over there, just come back over here. And that whole, like, Maggie, the little ball of yin in the pool of yang, and Daryl, the ball of yang in the pool of yin. Switch that, but yeah, and that's it'll be good.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
So from the okay. Well, I was gonna go jump into speculation for what's to come, but do you want to go ahead and read on the next on TWD first?
Yeah, hold on. Where's that? Oh, here it is. Why did they get so dirty? All right. I wasn't wearing them. How did they get this dirty? That's fine. I got very confused when I started reading this because the words that I was about to say don't make any sense. But now that I read the whole thing, it does. Okay. Season 11, Episode 10. New Haunts. Yep. The heroes experience Halloween in Commonwealth. Weird. Daryl and Rosita undergo military training led by Mercer. Carol investigates Ezekiel's medical condition. He ain't dead. All right.
Yeah.
So Carol's about to learn the truth that Ezekiel's been hiding that I'm pretty sure folks know. How is he not dead? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause that thing is huge. Okay.
Yeah, supposedly it's treatable in normal world. So, I mean, he might be surviving and they might be able to treat it.
Maybe.
Like lymph node cancer.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. He's long out. He's long survived his expiration date, so we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with the teasers where Carol is kind of digging into stuff, like, so it is according to this description, it looks like she's actually digging into Ezekiel's medical condition, but from the trailers, they're heavily hinting at the dirty underbelly of the Commonwealth and how they're not to be trusted. But and so the teasers with Carol kind of sneaking around, it looks like she's kind of like being Carol, because they've even got her running a food stand that's like Carol's Cookies or some crazy shit, which is perfect. But then, of course, Carol being Carol, she is digging and she's trying to figure out something else. Like, there's something else going on with Carol. And with her sneaking around, it looked like she was trying to, like, discover some kind of underbelly of the Commonwealth. And her connection to Daryl almost seems like she's figured something out, and maybe her and Daryl are running this infiltration scam with the Commonwealth, and maybe even Maggie has gotten wind of something not being just right with the Commonwealth, and that's why she's standing against them. And maybe this whole Daryl Maggie standoff is just theatrics, and it is actually where things hit the fan with our crew versus the Commonwealth, and Daryl is being a double agent here.
Yeah, something just clicked in my brain. So before the last few pages of the last comic for the Walking Dead run, the comic run, whatever. The issue before the last issue, Rick gets shot in the chest.
Right, by Pamela's son, right?
By Pamela's son, who we've now met. And then it clicked in my brain, dude's a douche. Who's he supposed to shoot? And I also don't know if he's actually going to shoot anybody. Or I don't know how much they're going to use him toward, what I'm trying to get at. The endings of this show have me worried, concerned, confused, and okay, sure. Because the characters that they use in the end of the comic either don't exist anymore or they're currently not on the show. So I'm like,
which is why they're Angela Kang and them have said that this is going to be new and kind of all original storylines, even though they're still loosely adapting some stuff.
Yeah,
obviously.
So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because ultimately I kind of hope we never have to see him again. Honestly,
But there was such a strong reaction to him, and what's his face, Eugene, that we'll probably see him again.
Because if he ends up killing Eugene and Eugene doesn't get to live up to his full potential, I'll be very upset.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It'll watch it be Eugene. And so there's even that scene in the teasers where Eugene is, it looks like he's in some kind of gulag or whatever. And it almost looks like he's in the same type of situation where he was in the cell and it was dark before. But it looks like there's like a bottle, not a bottle, but like a bowl of water or something in front of him. And he's kind of wet, like maybe they're like waterboarding him or something. And he's screaming, I swear I'll make sure everybody knows exactly who you are or something. So I don't, maybe he could be saying that about the representative or the Miltons, especially the son. who knows at this point?
Yeah. Who knows? There are a lot of dark secrets to still uncover. There's
Or even Stephanie. It could be Stephanie, because there is that thing where the Stephanie that he spoke to on the radio is not the same Stephanie that we met, that he's been like sharing ice cream with.
Yeah.
That the Stephanie he spoke to on the radio is actually the assistant to Miss Milton.
Yep. The real Stephanie, his wife. Yes.
And the only reason we know that is because of casting, like the names of the person on the radio versus the casting of quote unquote Stephanie, unless they pulled a switcheroo or something. But I don't know why they do. I don't know why they would do that and keep that, or just recast the person on the radio as somebody else entirely.
Yeah. Who knows? It'll be interesting. There's still a lot of things to come. A lot of, I don't even know if they're secrets anymore. A lot of things to see. Interested to see how Negan's story, where it goes from here. Interested to see where Maggie's story is going to end. I would say I'm interested to see where Carol and Daryl's story are going to end, but they're going to get a spinoff, so it doesn't really matter where the story ends here. Mm-hmm. They basically got a get out of jail free card. Yeah. Doesn't mean you can't lose a finger or two, but you got a get out of jail free card. So,
Gabriel and Rosita is another one.
Rosita's going to die.
You think so? I think both of them have outlived their comic counterparts.
Yep. And I think Rosita's going to buy in so hard that her and Princess are going to do this, and something is going to end up happening to where somebody else in the group has to make a decision, and then they just go poof, and it turns out they slit Rosita's throat.
Woo.
I don't think she's
because we've seen in the trailer Rosita wearing that stormtrooper outfit.
Mm-hmm. So,
and what about Aaron? Because I mean, like, pretty much he's like comic accurate Rick at this point. So maybe he's the one that goes and ends up getting shot by Pamela's son.
That'd be sad. I'll be pissed. I'll be upset.
Yeah.
Only because how you gonna make it past through all this mess, lose all this, and then at the end of everything, you just get a bullet in your chest.
I mean, almost the same reaction that you had for Rick, so in the comics. So if they're looking for a similar reaction,
I'd rather for them just to kill Rick at this point.
Screw those Rick movies.
So yeah, like honestly, if they end up doing it, I forgot about Aaron. It's either going to be one of three people. It's going to be Aaron. It's going to be Daryl, but he survives, or it's going to be Negan.
Because we know he comes back. We've seen him in a bar setting or something, so he's probably at the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Scott Gimple has confirmed that during this season we will see some kind of clash, or if the CRT and the Commonwealth are familiar with each other. CRT from Fear the Walking Dead is like that militant group that was testing the zombies and how much they knew from past life and stuff.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be interesting. Like you said, at this point, they might as well just bring Rick back just to kill him, because who like, we should have already gotten the Rick movies, and they should be leading up to the last season to where it like kind of comes together, and then the Rick return. But at this point, as far as time goes, like, are they shooting the Rick movies right now in secret? I don't know that they're even going to have time, because it was going to be a trilogy released in theaters. And then, I mean, I don't even know if they have enough time or interest to do it at this point. I don't know. Like,
We'll see.
The Rick timeline or storyline is so broken right now.
Yeah. All right. Shay's looking at me.
So, yeah. So, thank you guys for joining us. Do you have anything else to add there, Quin?
No.
Alrighty. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you will join us. Next week will be on a Monday rather than our usual Sunday at 10 p.m. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to hit that little bell icon so that you know when we do go live, especially if it's a different time or unscheduled or unplanned. Excuse me. That you know when we do go. And hopefully you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. And hopefully I'll have the podcast updated soonish. Have all these episodes dropped on the podcast. Be easier to listen to. But don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. And I'm Dylan.
I'm Quin.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.